eternally. You are beautiful, eternally. You are glorious, eternally. Eternally, you are God. Raise your voice and say, eternally.
Eternally, you are beautiful.
You are glorious.
Eternally, you are glorious.
Eternally.
This is your Sexuality with Priye. My name is Priye Derefaka Okara. Tonight I'm talking about the consequences of illicit sex. Okay, now I like to start with the definition of illicit sex. The word illicit actually means now. Okay, let me take it like this. Illicit sex is known as sexual act that is improper and condemned by law or religion, a sexual behavior that is prohibited. The word illicit sex can also be best described as any sexual activities between a man and a woman who are not yet married. Okay, that's premarital sex to each other. Illicit sex is also the act of lesbianism, okay, gay, incest, masturbation, bestiality, pornography, rape, okay, adultery, and then cohabitation. So if you are indulging in sex in these different categories, direction that I just mentioned, just know that what you're doing is illicit sex. All right. Now I need you to watch out that it is not every woman or man that you see that you should respond to sexually or get involved with sexually. Why? Because sex is a covenant. It is a spiritual, that there is a spiritual binding, okay, and a law from God that is binding sex. So it is not just a physical act. And the amazing part that is following sex, okay, that is attached to it, is that every time you get involved in intimacy, okay, and having intercourse, is that you are having a covenant with that person, whether the person is your wife or is your husband. You are having a covenant with that person, and usually there is a blood transmission that goes on. Somebody asked me, how is the blood coming from? Now, your sperm, okay, has blood flow. All right, that's why when a man have intercourse with his wife, at the end of the day she gets pregnant, and the first thing that goes to her womb is the blood. The child forms as a blood first. All right, and from the blood the thing forms to a baby. So that thing that you see, that fluid that you see come out, okay, when the man ejaculates, is actually blood. So every time you get involved in that act, there is a blood covenant that goes on. Somebody was asking, what about if the person used protection like condom? Does he have any, this thing? Now, there was a certain time that we did a program, and then I spoke to one of the people. They were into their HIV stuff and research and all of that, and they had to carry out a research on this condom and so-called whatever protection, okay, and they realized that on condom itself and all the protection, sexual protection, does not have 100% guarantee. It has like 90 and 80%, in which the fluid that comes from the man goes to the woman. And that's why if you're not careful, it gets to a point that the thing just breaks into two. So you are not certain. At that point, that's when he was telling me that HIV, someone can actually get HIV, contact HIV or AIDS through using protection also. Because he said there is not 100% guarantee. That's what he said, because they had a patient who I think was constantly using that. They had to do a research on that, and they realized that it wasn't 100% guarantee. So please be careful. And it's not even about the protection. Every time you meet with someone, spiritually, you are binding yourself with that person. And if the person is not your partner, you are just doing yourself a whole lot of harm. The consequences of illicit sex is their grievance. Okay, and I need to take the scripture so that you can understand. I said their grievance because if you look at the book of Proverbs, okay, I just read quickly. All right, Proverb 5. I'm going to take it from 3. It's a long reading, but I'll try to see how I can cut it short. Proverb 5 from verse 3 says, "For the lips of an immoral woman are as sweet as honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is as bitter as poison, as dangerous as a double-edged sword. Her feet goes down to death, her steps lead straight to the grave. For she cares nothing about the path to life. She staggers down a crooked train and do not realize it." So now, my sons, listen to me. Never, okay, I think I just let that. Okay, let me take from I'm trying to take the points now. Okay, I'm going to read from 9 now. "If you do, you will lose your..." Okay, let me take from 8. "Stay away from her. Do not go near the door of her house. If you do, you will lose your honor, and you will lose, okay, to... Okay. All right, I need you to follow me on this, all right, because it's important and it's imperative that you get this. I'm taking from Proverb 5 right now, 11. It says, "In the end, you will groan in anguish when disgrace consume your body." Okay, when disease rather consume your body, you will say, "How I hated discipline. If only I had not ignored all the warnings. Oh, why did I not listen to my teachers? Why did I not pay attention to my instructors? I have come to the brink of utter ruin." Now I'm going to go down to 23. There's a vital word there. All right. Okay. Now let me take 19. "She is a loving deer, a graceful dove. Let her breast..." This is talking about your wife. Now let me read it from 18 so you can take. In case you're just joining me, okay, I need you to follow me up on the scripture that I'm reading. Proverbs 5:18. Let your wife be a fountain of blessing for you. Rejoice in the wife of your youth. She is a loving dove, a graceful dove. Let her breast satisfy you always. May you always be captivated by her love. Why being captivated, my son, by an immoral woman, or front the breast of a promiscuous woman? For the Lord sees clearly what a man does, examining every part he takes. An evil man is held captive by his own sins. They are ropes that catch and hold him. He will die for lack of self-control. He will lose because of his great foolishness. People often see illicit sex like something that they could just do anything. It's like they take it like it's a fun. They take it like it's something that I could just, just have a quick one. That understanding that the implications that it's attached to it is not something that you can actually handle at the end of the day. It is inhuman to take what is not rightfully yours. When you are getting involved with a woman that is not yet your wife, what you are doing is that you're taking what is not rightfully yours. Or if you're a woman, you're getting involved with a man that is not yet your husband. Now, I need you to understand that tonight I'm going to be using the story and the life of Esau to explain what illicit sex is really all about. Now, something happened to Esau. If you go to the book of Genesis 26, and then if you know Genesis 25, okay, if you read through from 29, all right, it talks about how Esau, okay, gave his birthright to his brother Jacob. Now, time might not permit me to begin to read all of the scripture, but basically, before Esau gave his birthright to his brother Jacob, was that Esau has been involved with illicit sex. Esau has been sleeping with the women. The women of the Hittites. He was sleeping with the women that are not godly. Okay, they are ungodly women that around the area where him and his parents were living. And then the father was not aware. At the end of the day, Esau finally got married. But what happened was that what illicit sex actually do to you as a person is that once you get involved in it in the wrong way, it destroys a whole lot of things about your life. One of the things that happens to you at the end of the day, you end up getting married to the wrong woman. And then if you don't get married to the wrong woman, you begin to have issues with your personality, you have issues with your academy, you have issues with your finance, you have issues with your character. For some of you, you don't even have issues with hunger, but all of a sudden you find out that you're hungry per minute, per second. Why? Because there is this transfer. I told you, I said sex is actually a bond, is a covenant. Okay, so when you get involved in it in the wrong way, okay, premarital sex, or someone that is not yet your partner, your spouse, you are opening yourself a lot to an entity. You are opening yourself to a counterpart spirit who will take possession over your mind and over your body. Why do I say so? If you go to the book, if you go with me quickly. Oh, tonight I don't know if I can be able to do this all because I need to take calls. Okay, if you go with me quickly to the book of 1 Corinthians, all right, 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Okay, I will just take it. I will take it from. Okay, 1 Corinthians 6. I'll just take it from 18, just to make it faster. All right, it says, "Run from sexual sin. No other sin so clearly affects the body as this one does. For sexual immorality is a sin against your own body." What the scripture is saying is that when you get involved in illicit sex, it affects your body. It damages your physical body. He says there are other sins, but there is no sin that affects your body as the one illicit sex does. You could lie and it will not affect your body. You could do some certain things and it does not affect your body. But when you get involved in illicit sex, it affects your body. It either causes disease, illness, okay, or you have an attack, spiritual attack, or you get possessed by a demon, by an entity, a counterpart spirit who takes dominion over your mindset. Sometimes you find out that things are just going wrong. Everything in your life is going wrong. Nothing seems to be working. And you're asking yourself, what is wrong with me? You got that problem the day you started having illicit sex, having sex with just any woman you see on the street. The book of Proverbs, okay, the book of Proverbs 5:15-17 says, okay, "Drink water from your own well. Share your love only with your wife. Why split the water of your springs in the street? Having sex with just anyone. You should reserve it for yourself. Never share it with strangers." That's what Proverbs is saying. It says, do not share your sexual life with strangers. It's supposed to be just for you and your partner, your wife, or your husband. So it says when you do that, you are damaging a whole lot of things. I remember a certain young man once called me and said he doesn't know what is wrong with him. Everything seems to be going wrong. If he tries this business, it's not working. He tried to get involved in school, it's not working. He finds that things are just going up and down, up and down. And when I find out, and I did a little counseling with him, I realized that his sexual life was a wreck. He has different girlfriends. Now, yours might not even be different girlfriends. Yours might just be one person that you get involved with. And without understanding that person is possessed, whether he's a male or he's a female. And once the person is possessed with a demonic spirit, everything about your personality and your life goes down the drain overnight. Whether you want to believe what I'm saying tonight, or you want to accept it tonight, I'm just telling you the truth. If you are listening to me right now and then you know you are involved in illicit sex, sit down, check yourself out, check your life. Is everything all together? Is everything working the way you want them to work? Or all of a sudden things are just going wrong with your life? Watch it. It's because you're involved in illicit sex. I would have to continue with this topic again next week, okay? The consequences of illicit sex, and I'll give you examples of what happened to Esau because he got involved in illicit sex, how his life was damaged, his life was wrecked. I have a call already. Hello, good evening.
Oh, good evening.
Yeah, what's your name and where you calling from?
My name is John, and I'm calling from the Mancha.
John.
Yeah.
All right, John, go ahead. Go ahead. What's your line of thought?
Okay, my question is that if someone involved himself in that illicit sex and he went back to as a like to serve and went back to ask God for forgiveness, won't it be old as in like?
Okay, like if it won't happen anymore, like his life will become better. Is that your question? Hello? Alright, I think I lost it. Now, I think I understand what John is trying to say. Now, someone asked the same question that if somebody get involved in premarital sex, when the two people get married, will God bless that union? Now, God would always forgive you for the sins that you have committed, for the illicit sex you got involved. Well, peradventure, in the act of that illicit sex, you got HIV. How would you do that? It will take a whole lot of grace. It will take a whole lot of faith for you to be free from the HIV, or you would have to go through medical treatment. When you get involved in illicit sex and then you ask for forgiveness, okay, I'm just going to round up with this. God will forgive you. But peradventure, in the act of that illicit, like somebody who masturbates, there are side effects of masturbation, like weak erection, watery sperm. All of those things will be there because they were there before you went to the Lord for forgiveness. So whatever thing that you have damaged, whatever thing you had gotten from the illicit sex, you would have to go through the process and trust the Lord to set you free. But eventually you were involved in illicit sex and you got possessed with a demonic spirit. You would have to trust the Lord to be totally pure and clean for Him to set you free from those demonic powers and manifestation. But God has already forgiven you, but there are consequences that it will also still take you to go back to the Lord, all right, for you to come out of it and all of that. The same thing with premarital sex. When you ask the Lord for forgiveness, He blesses your marriage, but sometimes there are consequences that goes with it. All right, I've come to the end of the program tonight. I'm going to be back here again next week Thursday by 8:30 p.m. I will continue with this topic. My name is Priye Derefakokara. Good night.
Eternally, eternally.